Hello, my dear children of 10th standard. Now, in this video, we are going to start a poem from your first flight textbook. The name of the poem is poem number 9, The Tale of Custard the Dragon, written by Ogden Nash. Ogden Nash was born on 19th August 1902 in New York. He worked as a school teacher before becoming a copywriter. Nash's first poems were published in New Yorker in 1930. His first collection of poems entitled Hard Lines was published in 1931. Nash is perhaps best remembered for his nonsense poetry. He died on 19th May 1971. So, now let us start the poem. Now, the tale of Custard the Dragon is a ballad. Now, what is the meaning of ballad? So, ballad means a song or poem that tells a story. So, in this poem, as this poem is very long, total 15 stanzas are there. And this poem is a ballad. Ballad means you all know that a poem, or we can say a song that tells us a story. So, in this poem, one story is there. So, that we'll see. I'll read poem stanza wise and I'll explain you. So, first stanza says that Belinda lived in a little white house with a little black kitten and a little grey mouse and a little yellow dog and a little red wagon and a really truly little pet dragon. So now in the very first stanza, the poem opens with introducing the characters of the poem. So, Belinda, a little girl who lived in a little white house with her pets and a wagon. Wagon means a cart, a carriage. So, she lived in her white house with her pets and a wagon, a cart. Now, her pets include. Now, which were the pets living with her? So, a black kitten, a little grey mouse, a little yellow dog, and a little dragon. Now, dragon, you all know, means it is an imaginary creature, the creature which emits fire from their mouth. So, it is an imaginary creature. So, in the very first stanza, the poem is introducing the characters. So, Belinda is a little girl and she is living with her pets and a cart, a wagon. Now, what second stanza tells us? So, second stanza says, now the names of the little black kitten was Ink and the little grey mouse, she called her Blink. And the little yellow dog was Sharp as Mustard, but the dragon was a coward and she called him Custard. So, in second stanza, Belinda had named her little black kitten. Okay, so in the first stanza, what it tells that Belinda lived with a little yellow dog, then a little black kitten, then a little grey mouse. So, she had named all her pets. So her little black kitten, as Ink. She had named her little black kitten as Ink, and her little grey mouse was Black, Blink. So she used to tell Blink to the little grey mouse. The color of her dog was as sharp as yellow, as mustard, and her dragon was called Custard. So she used to call her dragon as Custard. Also, here the dragon is introduced to the cowardice of Custard, as he was not brave and feared a lot. So, here he was referred, that is, dragon was referred as coward. Now, what third stanza tells that? So, the third stanza tells Custard the dragon had big sharp teeth and spikes on top of him and scales underneath, mouth like a fireplace chimney for a nose, and Relio Trulio daggers on his toes. Now, here Relio Trulio in the first stanza is also there in the last line. Then in the third stanza, last line, Relio Trulio means real and true. So, what third stanza tells that the dragon Custard had big sharp teeth. On the top of him were sharp spikes. Spikes means sharp nails. And there were scales underneath him. Scales means layers. Also, the dragon's mouth looked like a fireplace or hearth, we can say. His nose looked like a chimney, and really he had dagger like sharp spikes on his toes. Daggers means a sharp small sword. So her toes was like a sharp small sword. So here in the third stanza, the poet is introducing the dragon, that though he was coward, he was not brave, but what features was there. Now, in fourth stanza, poet tells that Belinda was as brave as a barrel full of beers, and Ink and Blink chased lions down the stairs. Mustard was as brave as a tiger in a rage, but Custard cried for a nice, safe cage. So, here he is introducing with all the characters. So, what poet is telling that Belinda was braver than many bears. So, like bears, Belinda was brave like bear. Means when we put many bears together, so that equal strength or that equal bravery was there in Belinda. Ink and Blink were so brave that they could chase even lions down the stairs. So, Ink and Blink were compared by lions. Again, Mustard, the dog, was as brave as a tiger in anger and rage. So, the tiger, when the tiger is in anger, when he is in rage, anger, so how he becomes like that, the dog was as brave as an angry tiger. But Custard always cried like a coward to be put up in a nice safe cage. He always wanted a nice safe cage. So he was very coward. Now, fifth stanza. So what fifth stanza tells? Belinda tickled him. She tickled him unmerciful. Ink, blink, and mustard. They rudely called him Percival. They all sat laughing in the little red wagon and the Relio Trulio cowardly dragon. So, here what they used to do, they used to make fun of him. So, Belinda tickled the dragon and she used to tickle him mercilessly. Means unmercifully, she used to tickle him. She used to move her fingers on the sensitive part of dragon's body to make laugh. So she used to tickle him unmercifully. And Ink, Blink, and Mustard mocked him by calling Percival the brave. Now here Percival. So Percival was a knight, was a warrior in King Arthur's court. He was very brave. But one day what happened? One day he had gone for searching something and he got frightened. So he ran away. So he was known as coward. So what Ink, Blink, and Mustard, they used to mock him. They used to called him Percival. So like this, they used to make fun of dragon, of Custard. Now all of them, now after that what they used to do, all of them sat together in a little red wagon in that cart and laughed at Custard. They used to laugh at the coward dragon. Now, sixth stanza tells that Belinda giggled till she shook the house, and Blink said wick, which is giggling for a mouse. Ink and Mustard rudely asked his age, when Custard cried for a nice safe cage. So here Belinda giggled loudly till the whole house shook to its foundation. So she used to laugh, she used to giggle loudly after making fun of him. Also, Blink giggled too like a mouse. Ink and Mustard were very rude to the dragon. They used to behave very rudely to the dragon, to the Custard, the dragon. They insulted him by asking repeatedly about his age. And Custard, pity Custard, cried like a coward, begging for a nice, safe cage for him. Now, stanza 7 tells that suddenly they heard a nasty sound, and Mustard growled, and they all looked around. Mew! Cried Ink, and oh! Cried Belinda, for there was a pirate climbing in the window. Now here pirate means a sea robber. So here what happened? Then all of a sudden they heard a very unpleasant sound. After hearing it, Mustard growled and all of them looked around. So he growled in anger. He made sound. And Ink cried mew. Belinda cried, oh, they all got frightened, cried like a cat. Who? So Ink and Belinda cried, oh, Belinda said, oh, they saw that there was a pirate, there was a sea robber who was climbing in through the window. Here it is written the spelling WINDA. But the actual spelling is WINDOW. But as I have told you many times that poet has a license. All the poets are having a license that they can play with words. So that type of figure of speech is known as poetic license. Now the sea robber entered into the house. So now what happened? So we'll see in stanza 8. So stanza 8 tells that pistol in his left hand, pistol in his right, and he held in his teeth a cutlass bright. A cutlass bright. His beard was black, one leg was wood. It was clear that the pirate meant no good. Now, cutlass means a dagger. And now, this stanza tells that the pirate, the sea robber, had pistol in his left hand. He also held another pistol in his right hand. He was holding a shining dagger among his teeth. His beard was black. One of the legs was of wood. And it was quite clear that the pirate, the sea robber, meant no good to them. Means his intention, the sea robber's intention was not good for them, for Belinda and her pets. Now, further, what happened we'll see in stanza 9. So, stanza 9 tells that Belinda paled and she cried, "Help, help!" But Mustard fled with a terrified yelp. Ink trickled down to the bottom of the household, and little Mouse blinked strategically mouse hold. So here paled means her complexion faded after seeing that sea robber. So when Belinda saw the pirate, her face became pale with fear. She started crying for help. Mustard was terrified. He also got terrified and fled crying. Now see, they used to tell themselves that they are so brave. Now what happened? So Mustard was terrified with fled crying. Ink hid himself at the bottom of the household. He hided himself. And the little mouse Blink entered its hole by seeing that pirate and saved himself strategically in this way. Means they all were frightened. They all got frightened. Now what happened in the story? So we'll see in stanza 10. But as jumped Custard, snorting like an engine, clashed his tails like irons in a dungeon. With a clatter and a clank and a jangling squam, he went at the pirate like a robin at a worm. So, snorting means making the sound of an engine. So, now here only the dragon was there, and they used to call him coward. But now see what dragon did. So the dragon Custard jumped up. He jumped and he was snorting like an engine. He was making sound like an engine in front of pirate. His tail clashed with the pirate as the iron chains strike on the dungeon floor. Dungeon means prison. So his tail means Custard's tail clashed with a pirate, means struck with a pirate's chains, and it strike on the dungeon floor. Now what happened? With a clattering and clanking sound, means making rattling sound, he made his body hard and twisted. Who? So dragon. He pounced upon the pirate. Means he attacked upon the pirate as a robin pounces upon at a worm. Robin means a sparrow. So, in stanza 10, we saw that how dragon, whom they used to call coward, he attacked on the pirate and all other pets, including that Belinda. The girl, little girl, they all got hide. They hided themselves. Now, what happened in the story, we'll see in stanza 11. The pirate gaped at Belinda's dragon and gulped some grog from his pocket flagon. He fired 2 bullets, but they didn't hit, and Custard gobbled him every bite. So, here what happened? Gulped means drank down, and flagon means a narrow container. Gobbled means swallowed. So now in this stanza, what happened? So the pirate watched intently at Belinda's dragon Custard, and he took out a small container from his pocket and gulped down some wine. He drank some wine. He fired 2 bullets at the dragon but missed the aim. So the point got missed. He fired 2 bullets but it got missed, and the bullets didn't hit Custard. The dragon swallowed every bite of the pirate immediately. Means the dragon, the brave dragon whom they used to call coward, what he did, he swallowed, he gobbled, he swallowed every bite, means he ate that pirate. Now, what happened in stanza 11, we'll see. So, Belinda embarrassed him, Mustard licked him. No one mourned for his pirate victim. Ink and Blink in glee did gyrate around the dragon that ate the pirate. So, glee means happiness and gyrate means danced around. So now here Belinda embarrassed Custard. Mustard started licking him. He started licking dragon. No one mourned. No one felt grief. No one expressed grief for the pirate. And that pirate was dead. Ink and Blink danced around the dragon who had just swallowed the pirate. So now pirate was no more, and who saved them from that pirate? So it was dragon. It was Custard. Now what happened in the story? But presently up spoke little dog Mustard. I would have been twice as brave if I had not been flustered. And up spoke Ink and up spoke Blink. We would have been 3 times as brave, we think. And Custard said, I quite agree that everybody is braver than me. So now what happened? So flustered means became nervous. So soon the little dog Mustard began to speak. He declared that if he had not been nervous, he would have been twice as brave as he was. Means now everybody started telling means कि they are brave. And now immediately Ink and Blink replied that in their views they would have been thrice as brave as they had been. Means they started telling, they started clearing that they are also very brave. And that Custard readily agreed that everybody there was braver than him. Now what happened next? So again stanza 14 and stanza 15. Now, whatever we read till now was in past tense. And now in present we'll study ki now what situation is there, now what is there, how Belinda is living. That was the story, that how pirate entered and how custard helped. Okay, he gulped, he ate that pirate, and all in the house were saved. So now stanza 15 tells that Belinda still lives in her little white house with her little black kitten and her little grey mouse and her little yellow dog and her little red wagon and a really truly little pet dragon. Means again 14th stanza says that Belinda, she is living now in the present situation. She is living with her pets. And 15th stanza says that, now see, it is getting repeated. So here the poet used the same lines again by saying that the life started again in the same manner. They are living. Belinda still lives in that little white house with her pets, and Belinda is as brave as a barrel full of bears, and Ink and Blink chase lions down the stairs. Mustard is as brave as a tiger in a rage, but Custard keeps crying for a nice safe cage. So the situation is same, that all of them are very brave, whereas the dragon is still a coward who always wants to stay safe in his cage. So this was there in the story. In this poem, one beautiful story was there, that how Belinda lives with her pets now also, and what happened, what incident happened with them in the past, and how dragon helped them, whom they used to call what? Coward. Now also they call him coward only, but how that coward dragon helped them and saved their life from pirate, from sea robber. Now we'll see what poetic devices has been used in this poem. So very first, rhyme scheme. So if you will see every stanza, first line. So what musical effect is coming, what rhyme is coming. So see, first stanza, first line, last word house. So we'll name it as A. Second line, first stanza, word is mouse. So we'll name it as, again a sound is coming, so again we'll name it as A. Then first stanza, third line, last word is wagon, no sound is coming, so we'll name it as B, different sound. Then fourth line, last word is dragon, again no sound is coming, so we'll name it as B. So the rhyme scheme became AB, AB. Okay, so if you will see last word in all the lines in the stanza, then same rhyme scheme is there, same musical effect is there, that is AA, BB. Only in stanza 13. In stanza 13, 6 lines are there. So here the rhyme scheme is AA, BB, CC. How? See, stanza 13, first line, the sound is there, so we'll name it as A. Second line, 13th stanza, flustered, last word is there, so we'll name it as A. Again, the sound. Then third line, 13th stanza, last word is blink, so we'll name it as B. Fourth line, last word is thing, so we'll name it as B. Again see, fifth line, last word, 13th stanza, so last word is agree, so we'll name it, different sound is coming, so we'll name it as C. Again see, 13th stanza, 6th line, that everybody is braver than me. Last word is me. So we'll name it as C. Mustard, flustered, AA. Blink, think, BB. And agree and me, CC. So rhyme scheme became AA, BB, CC. So only in stanza 13 rhyme scheme is AA, BB, CC, and in all other stanzas rhyme scheme is AA and BB. Now we'll see what figures of speech are used in this poem. So the very first figure of speech is repetition. Now what is the meaning of repetition? So repetition means simple, you all know, repeated use of words, lines or stanzas. So see stanza 1. Stanza 1, little word is getting repeated. Belinda lived in a little white house with a little black kitten and a little grey mouse. See, line 2, with a little black kitten and a little grey mouse. Then see third line, first stanza, and a little yellow dog and a little red wagon. So see, little word is getting repeated in second and third line, stanza 1. So this type of figure of speech is known as repetition. Now see stanza 7. So stanza 7, line 1. See line 1. Suddenly they heard a nasty sound. So see, suddenly word is getting repeated. Now next figure of speech is oxymoron. Now what is the meaning of oxymoron figure of speech? So oxymoron means when two opposite words are used together. So see stanza 1 last line. And a realio trulio little pet dragon. So dragon is a wild animal, you all know, which is supposed to live in jungle, and pet means that animal which you keep inside the house. So two opposite words are there. Pet, dragon means dragon which is supposed to be live in jungle. Belinda is keeping that dragon inside the house. So pet and dragon, two opposite words are used, which is the instances or which is the example of oxymoron. Now next figure of speech is anaphora. Anaphora means when two or more than two lines begins with same word. Okay, begins with same word, two or more than two lines. So see stanza 1 line 3 and line 4 are starting with and word. Again see stanza 2, second line and third line, and the little grey mouse and the little yellow dog means both the lines are starting with and. Again see stanza 14. Stanza 14, third and fourth line, and her little yellow dog and her little red wagon and her realio trulio little pet dragon means third and fourth line are starting with and word. So this is the example of anaphora, means when two or more than two lines begins with same word. Now next figure of speech is assonance. What is the meaning of assonance? So assonance means repeated use of a vowel sound, and it can be anywhere. Okay, repeated use of vowel sound, and it can be anywhere, starting, middle, end in the line. So see line 1, stanza 1 line 1. Belinda lived in a little white house. So I sound is very prominent. I sound is coming. Belinda lived in little white. So I sound is very prominent. So this type of figure of speech is known as assonance, where what vowel sound comes in the line. From starting, it can be anywhere, starting, middle, end. In same way, another figure of speech is used, that is consonants. Consonants means repeated use of consonant sounds. Like in assonance, repeated use of vowel sound. In same way, consonants means repeated use of consonant sounds. And also, same way it can be anywhere, starting, middle, end. So see stanza 1. Line 1. Belinda lived in a little white house. So Belinda, la sound, lived, again la sound is coming. In a little, la sound is coming. See in line 2, with a little black kitten and a little grey house. So see in line 2 also, stanza 1, la sound is very prominent. In line 3, and a little yellow dog and a little red wagon, la sound means la sound is coming. La sound is very prominent in line 1, 2, 3 and 4. And la sound, it means that is consonant sound. So this is the example of consonants figure of speech. Now next figure of speech is simile. Simile means simple, you all know, when comparison is made between two things using like and as. So stanza 2, line 3. Line 3. And the little yellow dog was as sharp as mustard. So here dog is getting compared with mustard by using as. So this is the example of simile figure of speech. See stanza 4, line 3. Mustard was as brave as a tiger in a rage. So here mustard, okay, here mustard's braveness was compared by angry tiger. So this is the example of simile. Again see stanza 4, line 1 you all know, then line 3 we saw, then see stanza, again any another figure of speech is there of simile. So find out. Okay, find out. Now see in stanza 10, line 1. In stanza 10, line 1, what it says that, but up jumped custard, snorting like an engine. So here snorting, here sound produced by custard is similar to an engine. Snorting like an engine. Who? So custard. So again, this is the example of what? Simile. Now next figure of speech is alliteration. So what is the meaning of alliteration? Alliteration means when a consonant sound or word is repeated at the start of two or more closely placed words. So see stanza 2, line 4. But the dragon was covered as she called him custard. So see here the words are starting covered, called, custard. The words are starting with C, K sound or C words. So we can say that this is the example of alliteration. And where the words are placed? So the words are placed at the start of the words. The sound is coming or the word, consonant word is placed at the start of the words. Now see stanza 4. In stanza 4, line 1. Belinda was as brave. So see here Belinda, brave. B sound is getting repeated at the start of these words in a line. So this is also an example of alliteration. In same way in stanza 8, line 2. And he held his teeth a cutlass bright. So he held his. Her sound is getting repeated at the start of these words in a line. In same way, see line 3. Line 3 in stanza 8, his beard was black. So b sound is repeated at the start. Again see stanza 11, line 2, and gulped some grog from his pocket flagon. So gulped, grog, g sound is getting repeated at the start. So this type of figure of speech is known as alliteration. Now next figure of speech is metaphor. Metaphor means indirect comparison between two things without using like and as. So see stanza 4, line 3. Stanza 4, line 3. Mustard stanza. Now next different stanza, not stanza 4. Another stanza is there, in that the word is there, chimney for a nose. So here custard's nose has been compared with chimney without using like or as words. So this type of figure of speech is known as metaphor. Metaphor means indirect comparison between two things. Now next figure of speech is personification. Now what is the meaning of personification? So personification means when you are giving human quality to any animal or any non-living things, then it is known as personification. So see here, ink, blink, mustard, they rudely called him Percival. Stanza 5. So here, although they are animals, ink, blink and mustard, but they are saying, they are speaking to the dragon. And what they are saying him? To the dragon Percival. So you all know animals never speak. So here animals have been given the quality to speak. So they are personified. So this is an example of personification. Now next figure of speech which is used in this poem is onomatopoeia. So onomatopoeia means when you are giving any sound or is the use of sound in the words. So see stanza 6. Stanza 6, line 2. Ink and blink said wick, which is giggled for a mouse. So see here, blink made a sound, that is wick. So this is the sound words we can say. So here there is the use of onomatopoeia. Stanza 7, see line 2. Stanza 7, line 2. And mustard growled and they all looked around. So mustard growled means mustard made a sound. Again see line 3. Line 3, stanza 7. Meow called ink and oh called cried Belinda. So these all are sound words. So we can say that this is an example of onomatopoeia. Now many other examples you will get of this figure of speech, all the figures of speech, that is metaphor or simile, personification, alliteration. So read the poem and simultaneously just search the figures of speech which are used in this poem. So we can say that in this poem
The rhyme scheme is AABB. Only in stanza 13 the rhyme scheme is AABBCC. And figures of speech which are used are repetition, oxymoron, anaphora, assonance, consonance, simile, alliteration, metaphor. So read the poem as the stanzas are more, but very beautiful short story is there in this poem. So read this poem and try to find out figures of speech. Thank you.